Hi guys, and welcome to the Kelly Kitchen. Today we are making my absolute favorite summer dessert, perfect peach pie. We're talking a ridiculously flaky, buttery crust that shatters when you cut into it, and a filling that is bursting with sweet, juicy peaches in a perfect cinnamon sugar glaze. We're not just making it, I'm also going to share all of the little secrets that guarantee a perfect pie every single time. So let's get started with the foundation of any great pie, the crust. We're making a double pie crust from scratch, which includes flour, salt, Crisco, and ice cold water. First, you're going to whisk together your flour and your salt. When cutting the Crisco into the flour mixture, try not to overwork the dough. You want to just cut in the Crisco with a pastry cutter until crumbly and about the size of peas. You don't want to overwork the dough for two reasons. One is so that it doesn't overdevelop the gluten, resulting in a tough crust, and two, so that you don't melt the fat, which would result in a hard, cracker-like crust, which would not be flaky. Now for the first and most important secret to a perfect crust: ice cold water. Ice cold water is important because it keeps the fat solid in the crust and it prevents gluten formation. This creates the potential for a flaky and tender crust. The next secret for the absolute best pie crust is to chill your dough. After the dough is formed, you're going to shape it into a disc and sort of flatten it out so it's ready to go when you want to roll it out. However, you're going to put it in the refrigerator to chill while you're making the remaining mixture and the cutting and peeling all the peaches. So that by chilling this in the refrigerator, you are re-solidifying that fat, relaxing the gluten, and hydrating the flour. This is going to result in a flaky, tender crust that is easy to handle and it won't shrink when rolled out. While the dough is chilling, we are going to mix together the filling for the peaches. For this, we combine sugar, flour, and cinnamon. We're just going to put this aside while peeling and slicing the peaches. This gets mixed in with the peaches immediately before pouring everything into the pie crust. Peeling peaches can be done a few ways. Some of them include blanching and shocking, using just your fingers, or using a peeler. I prefer the peeler method, but whatever works best for you, go for it. When it comes to picking out peaches, you will typically find yellow peaches and white peaches. Yellow are the best for pie. White peaches are delicious, however, they're a little bit too sweet for pie and they're better suited for eating. So try to pick out yellow peaches that are extremely ripe. The skin should feel nice and soft and it indent easily when pressed. We put lemon juice on sliced peaches to prevent them from turning brown and to brighten the flavor. Next, we're going to roll out the chilled top and bottom crusts. A few tips for this: rotating your crust as you roll helps prevent sticking to the board. It helps create a more uniform circle and it minimizes the gluten development. Use even, gentle pressure. Let the weight of the rolling pin do most of the work. If you press down too hard, you'll create thin spots and overdevelop the gluten. Just a small helpful hint: I like to fold my crusts when transporting to prevent tearing. Trim and tuck your bottom crust once in the pan, and then we're going to combine the filling mixture with the peaches. We do this right before going into the oven because the sugar causes the peaches to release juices, which could potentially lead to a soggy crust. By mixing right before and getting the pie in the oven, the crust has a chance to set. Pour this into your bottom crust and top with a few taps of butter. Then place the top crust over the peaches and pinch the top and bottom crust edges together. You can then crimp and flute the edges in whichever way you prefer. And sometimes if I'm feeling a little fancy, I'll make a peach for the center of the pie with the excess dough that I have. I also like to use a little bit of decorative sugar, sprinkling on top. And to do that, I just brush a little bit of milk over the crust and then sprinkle it on. We bake this at a higher temperature first to maximize flakiness and prevent a soggy bottom. You will know when your pie is done baking when the crust is golden brown and the filling is bubbling slow, lava-like bubbles, not just around the edges, but in the center too. The reason for this is because the recipe uses flour as a thickening agent, and thickeners do not fully activate and work their magic until they reach a boiling temperature. If the crust is done before the filling, you can always shield it with some aluminum foil. I know it's torture, but cooling is not optional. You must let the pie cool for at least 4 hours at room temperature before slicing. If you cut into it while it's still warm, you will not get a clean slice. You will get a delicious but very messy puddle of peach soup that floods the bottom crust. So patience during the cooling stage is the secret to a perfect slice. Okay, our pie has cooled completely, and now we can finally cut into it. And there it is, a perfect slice of homemade peach pie. The crust is flaky, the filling is thick and juicy. It is summer in a bite. You can get the full printable recipe for this peach pie on my website at thekellykitchen.com. The link is also right in the description box below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for baking with me today.